Semen retention is dangerous, and here's why. You've probably heard about the supposed benefits. It's all over forums, self-help videos, and even spiritual discussions. Maybe you've tried it yourself, holding onto your energy in the hope that it would transform your life. But if you felt stuck, restless, or even more disconnected than before, I want you to know, you're not alone. Let's be honest. How often do you hear people glorify semen retention as the ultimate hack to energy, focus, and spiritual growth? But here's the thing no one talks about. Holding on for too long without balance can create tension, frustration, and even block the very energy you're trying to cultivate. What if I told you that the ancient practices behind this idea were never about extremes, but about mastering your flow? Not releasing isn't power, it's a misunderstanding. Think about it for a moment. Have you ever felt like your emotions were boiling over, or that your focus was scattered when you held onto this energy for too long? That's not growth. That's your body and spirit crying out for balance. And trust me, it's not your fault. This misunderstanding has been passed down as if it's gospel. But the truth? The true power lies not in suppression, but in knowing when to release and when to harness that energy. Here's where it gets interesting. Your energy is like water. Too much pressure without release, and the dam breaks. But when it's allowed to flow with intention, it nourishes everything it touches. Stick with me, because by the end of this journey, you'll not only understand why extreme retention is harmful, but how you can cultivate your energy in a way that fuels your creativity, vitality, and spiritual alignment. Together, we'll uncover the balance you've been searching for. Have you ever noticed that the longer you retain, the more restless you feel? Maybe it starts as a dull tension and grows into frustration or irritability, leaving you wondering, am I doing something wrong? This isn't a sign of failure, it's a signal from your body. What no one tells you is that retention, when practiced without purpose, can lead to stagnation, and stagnation is where the real danger begins. Here's why. Semen contains a massive amount of energy, both physically and spiritually. But when you retain it without circulating that energy, it can weigh you down instead of lifting you up. Think of it like food. When you eat but don't move, the energy from your meal doesn't nourish you. It sits, unused, and creates discomfort. Your body and mind are designed for flow, not storage, and this is where many people get retention wrong. This stagnation isn't just physical, it affects your emotions and focus too. Have you felt more anxious, unfocused, or even short-tempered during long periods of retention? That's because your body is building energy with nowhere to direct it. Ancient teachings from Taoism and yoga recognized this, which is why they emphasized practices to circulate energy, breathing techniques, meditation, and mindful movement to keep the life force flowing. Without these practices, retention can turn into a burden. But here's the good news. This energy isn't meant to stay stuck. It's waiting for you to guide it. In the next chapter, we'll dive into how ancient masters worked with this energy, using it to fuel creativity, focus, and spiritual growth. You'll learn the secrets to turning retention from a source of tension into a wellspring of power. And trust me, it's simpler than you think. Did you know that the idea of semen retention isn't new? It's rooted in ancient teachings, timeless wisdom passed down by Taoists, yogis, and mystics who understood the delicate balance of energy. But here's the truth most people overlook. Those ancient masters never taught suppression for the sake of it. They emphasized something far more profound, the flow of energy. Let me share a story. In Taoist tradition, there's a practice called microcosmic orbit. Practitioners believed that sexual energy was like a spark of life, and rather than holding it captive, they learned to move it through their bodies, nourishing their mind, heart, and spirit. They understood that stagnation leads to chaos, while intentional flow creates harmony. Think about it. Doesn't that make sense? Energy, like water, is meant to circulate, to fuel creativity, purpose, and vitality. But somewhere along the way, the true meaning of these teachings got lost. Retention became a rigid rule, stripped of its depth and context. Ancient practices like yoga and Tantra weren't about never releasing, but about mastering when and how to release, channeling energy where it's needed most. They knew that balance, not extremism, was the key to unlocking your full potential. So here's my question to you. What would it feel like to tap into this ancient wisdom? To move your energy intentionally, so it fuels your goals, strengthens your spirit, and aligns you with your purpose. This is where energy transmutation begins, a practice as old as time, yet more relevant than ever in our modern world. And in the next chapter, I'll show you exactly how you can start using it to transform your life. By now you've learned that semen retention builds energy, but let's get one thing clear. Retention by itself isn't the solution, it's part of the problem. The promise of endless focus, strength, and spiritual power through sheer willpower might sound appealing, but what happens when that energy isn't managed? Without the right practices to circulate or release it, retention can create more harm than good, leading to tension, frustration, and even burnout. This is where breathwork comes in, not as a companion to retention, but as an alternative. You don't need to trap your energy to feel its benefits. Practices like deep breathing or mindful movement allow you to connect with your energy naturally, without suppressing it. For example, a simple breathing exercise can help you feel energized and focused without the discomfort that often comes from holding on to too much. Take a deep breath in. Imagine the energy spreading throughout your body, and exhale slowly. This process activates your life force without the risks of extreme retention. Let's be real. Retention often turns into a form of repression. It's an attempt to control your body rather than work with it. Ancient practices like Taoism and yoga never taught suppression for the sake of it. Instead, they emphasized harmony and flow, knowing that energy should move freely. If you want the benefits often promised by retention, like clarity, creativity, and vitality, you don't need to hold back. You need to learn how to guide your energy intentionally. Retention alone isn't the path to power. It's a shortcut that leads to a dead end. The real strength comes from understanding your energy and using it in a way that aligns with your goals. In the next chapter, we'll explore how to step away from rigid retention practices and instead embrace a balanced, intentional approach that allows you to live fully, without unnecessary restrictions. Now that you've learned how to move and transmute your energy, let's bring it all back to where we started. Semen retention. This journey isn't just about holding on to your life force. It's about learning to work with it, to master it, and to find balance. Retention without intention is just suppression. But when you approach it with clarity and purpose, it becomes a tool for transformation. Think of retention as a skill, like learning to play an instrument. You don't just hold on to the notes. You practice when to play them, when to pause, and when to let the music flow. The same is true for your energy. The power isn't in never releasing. It's in choosing when and how to release. So it supports your physical, emotional, and spiritual growth. Here's the truth. Retention isn't about perfection or following strict rules. It's about listening to your body and aligning with its natural rhythms. There will be times when releasing is necessary, when it clears your mind or deepens your connection with a partner. And there will be times when holding on fuels your creativity, focus, and inner strength. Neither is better or worse. The key is understanding what you need in the moment. So where do you go from here? Start by experimenting. Pay attention to how you feel after retaining and how you feel after releasing. What brings you clarity? What leaves you feeling drained? Over time, you'll develop a deeper awareness of your energy and how to manage it. This is the path to mastery, not rigid control, but intentional living. And as you walk this path, you'll find that retention isn't just about what you hold on to, It's about what you create with the energy you keep.